Our first hands-on project in this cohort is to do just some simple Swift programming, and we're going to create a right triangle calculator. If you think back to your high school geometry class, we had the Pythagorean theorem, which was the hypotenuse, so the length of side C, the longest side of a right triangle, is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So we're going to write a playground and code that, and our output is going to be if sides A and B of a right triangle are this and that units in length, then the length of side C would be and the result. So one of the tips here is what framework do you need to import to perform exponentiation and square root functions? And that's going to be our UI kit. So if we were doing this the traditional way and submitting this to be graded by a rubric, this would be worth 1 point. And that CSLO that's being covered is write programs that perform computations on user-provided input resulting in formatted output. Remember, the overall process for any program is going to be get the input, process it, provide output. So here's some things. Sides A and B are going to be constants of type double. C, our hypotenuse, is going to be a variable of type double. And then the value of C is correctly calculated using the values of A and B using that Pythagorean theorem. And then a single print function using an interpolated string to show the values of all three sides in the sentence as we had up above here. Let's take a look at this next code and I'll show you my solution. So I'm in Xcode. I'm going to go to the File menu and choose New Playground. And we have several options we can choose from. We're going to create a blank playground, and I'm going to click the Next button. I get to name this, so I'm just going to call it 01A Triangle Calculator. And there is our playground. So by default, we get the Import UI Kit. So we're going to access that framework. That's going to give us access that we're going to need to the math functions. And the default here is a variable called greeting equals hello playground. I'm just going to get rid of that. And keep the import statement at the top, but I generally like to start with a block comment. And I'm going to put the assignment information here. I'm going to paste in information about the assignment, and I'm just going to put created by and my name. And I'll put today's date. All right, so we're going to import the UI kit. Now we wanted to get two variables, or two constants for A and B, and we used the let command for our constant. So I'm just going to say side A. I'm going to type this as a double value, and it's going to equal 6.0. And then we'll do the same thing for side B. We'll use a variable, and we'll call that variable side C. It's also going to be of type double. But I don't really have to type it because it's going to be we can get the type inferred from the value that's created, and we're going to use a square root. Remember, it's a squared plus b squared, and we take the square root of that. So we're going to take the square root. I'll use the POW function, which allows us to do exponentiation. We're going to take side A and we're going to square that, and then we're going to do the same thing with side B, and we'll square that. So that's the square root of a squared plus b squared. And now we want to print our value. And what I'm going to do is just come up here and copy my comment where I have the sentence. We'll paste that in. And then for our underscores here, I'm going to replace that. And I want to have my values be to 2 decimals. So I'm going to say string. Oops, I want to capitalize string. And here we will format %.2f. That's going to give us 2 decimal places. And then a comma, and what I want to have in this spot is the value of side A. And my %.2f needs to be in quotes. It has to be a string. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in the next underscore, and we'll change side A to side B. And then I want to do the same thing here. I'm going to paste again. Let's make this side C. Let's run it. And so when I do that, I get, if sides A and B of a right triangle are 6.00 and 8.00 units in length, I've got an extra space in there I want to take out, the length of side C would be 10.00. So our program works. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the iOS app development cohort playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.